make sure.
Diese Microphone.
Guten Erev Shabbos. Fortunately, you have a Levias, that's who we're starting this time. Okay. It says, the ancient tells Moshe Rabbeinu you should get him Terumah. And there's a whole discussion that this is Akdome, it's also a Teisvis, but it's Akdome to Smochas. And the thing that the Min asked, I forgot who he asked, the Min asked, he says, you know, your God was a Kohen. It says he Terumah, right? So he must be a Kohen. So if he's a Kohen, how do he get to, he got Tomei to Moshe Rabbeinu, okay. How do he get Torah again? That was a shot. He said, if you can say water, all the world only comes up to his ankles, which I don't even start all together because it's infinite, so I check all the water in the world. Ankles, face, but whatever it is, but obviously, if you're infinite, there's not enough water. Elevos, so the answer is with fire, because fire that's the normal one preference. If you can't do it in fire, so then you do it by mayim. So therefore, fire was a better deal. Okay, that's the union of the. But Benjamin says it calls it Terumah, and what Terumah belongs to the Kohen. So it's not pshat. He's asking for something that's not his. He's asking something that's his. He says it's something that's his. That's why he doesn't tell them what he wants to do with all the stuff that he's asking them for. But normally, when you want to make an appeal, that the big people, so you got to get them interested in what you want to build. So you got to tell them, I want to build Beis HaMishkan and Shechina, and you guys got to bring that in. But that would be pshat that we're building it. Pshat is the nation wants him to know that the money is his, the thing is his, everything is his, and I want you to market that when you're building it. So therefore, that was the first thing. So he doesn't tell him till after. He tells him what he wants. He then tells him what he's going to do with it. Not just he needs money. He doesn't need money. So obviously, what is he going to do with it? Shiloh, what's in the deep lave? It didn't say you just take it from everybody. It says Meis Kol Isha Sheidvenu Liboy. And later on, we'll learn this. We'll probably has it around it anyway in Parshas, what he called Ya'akov, because it's the same idea that the pshat you need in the divlev. I think it's a little more specific. That you got to be me'eshkol, you have to be in the divlev. I guess that's called Sheidvan Liba. Let's see a second. Call Nediv Liboy, anyone who has Nediv Liboy, and he called it Nediv Leiv, and they think, so what's the difference in a Nediv Leiv and not a Nediv Leiv? So we'll show over there, we'll talk about it more. It's the union that he's totally involved. Nediv Leiv is not just the money I'm giving you, I'm not trying to be there whenever you need me. So he's totally involved. On the other hand, the guy who's not in the deep lave can give you a big check, but I'm not there. And that was really what the Nesim were. The Nesim gave over millions of millions. They gave all the Avnei Shem, Avnei Meluyim, which is the expensive stuff. They gave the Ketairis, and they gave the oil, the Shem Lamor. Gave all the expensive stuff, and they don't get the credit of being in the divleif. You can take away the yud from the word Nesim because of that. So we'll talk about that also then. In other words, what was their chesaron and how by their donating the oxen and the wagons, how they were masakin. That's probably all the way in Nosei, but we'll see. Okay. This is also another kasha. He says it would be for building Beis HaMikdash, the Mishkan. But he also asked for the big kahuna. So you can say, that this, the what do you call it, the tcheles agorment l'shani, which works for both. He needs it for the what do you call it, the preiches and for the Mishkan and the Ohel. And the stuff like that you need stuff in the Mishkan. So so he's using part for the Mishkan, part for the big kahuna. But the parts of the stones themselves, those are only for the big kahuna. So what are you telling me? For the Mishkan, it's for the big kahuna. So you see from here that the Kohen and the Mikdash are the same thing. In other words, if you don't have the proper Kohen Gadol, the Mishkan is not going to do the job. It's not going to be a Beis HaMikdash that's supposed to be. So therefore, it's very important you have the right man in the job, that he's going to be the Kohen Gadol that's going to do it the right way, the Avodah. And because of that, it's considered part of the Mishkan. That part of Yashlo is Shlit. Then he tells us, what I want you to do with this is build an Aehron. And he gives the size of the Aehron, 1.5 by 2.5 by 1.5. Now with the height 1.5, the width is 1.5, and 2.5 is once. And that's going to hold the luchas. If you hold it with 2 squares, 2 cubes, okay, so you really need this. There was only 2 half cubes. In other words, it was an amma by a half amma, thick. You have 2 of them, and therefore together they make a cube of, what do you call it? Okay, so the question is, what do you need so much room for? Like this, if you have 2, it's like very tight. You have the 2 ammas, that leaves a half amma, and all together, you got to get it out, put it in and take it out. So I guess you need your fingers, your hands go in there. So you need a half amma and half amma each side. And same thing in the width. You'll need the half an amma thick, so you need a half amma. It's more logical that way. Okay. But it's a shayla, so it's a machlekes or whatever it is. So that's what the Aehron is. The question is, and it tells you how to build the soul. It's made out of shittim wood, and it's covered with gold. Gold is the most malleable metal there is. You can squeeze it, pure gold. It's talking about pure gold. Pure gold is 24 karat. 24 karat is malleable by the hand. You can actually squeeze it and make it out, and it's so malleable that an ounce of gold can make you a mile-long wire without breaking. So that the thing that it can be that's mile long, so how much if you can be, how thin is it going to be? It's going to be very thin and still don't break, and it holds on to it. That's how the keach of gold. So obviously, if I put a heavy thing on there, it's going to make a problem, especially if the rings that are holding the badim are made out of just gold, pure gold itself. It'll drag it to something if it's too long. I mean, if it's, what do you call it? Maybe it's not, the badim itself is not that heavy, but, what else? Let's see what has to be there. The badim, if it's in this case, so let's see what he put in there. So he's going to put in the actual Aehron, I say, is the box. He made 3 boxes. Rashi tells you, he didn't just make gold plated, which is cheap stuff, right? So that's probably a very little thing there. Here it was actually 3 boxes, so 2 gold boxes. You know at how thin they are, but if it's that size gold box, it's pretty expensive. I mean, stuff like that, because not just the coloring, it's something to it. Okay, so I put in that. Okay. Now, it says you have to make a paroiches for it. A kaparis for it. What's a kaparis? Is a hunk of gold, the size was 2.5 by 1.5, a tafach thick. And it also has to have kruvim. Now the kruvim doesn't tell you the size of the kruvim. It just tells you the kruvim, how they're supposed to look. They're supposed to face each other with their heads down, looking to the Aehron. So we have a Talmud once, a Yeshua leader, that if he wanted to know what we're talking about, what's the kapara this way. So he came out to him from checking the weight of gold using the Rosh Hashiva's definition of an amma is 21.25 inches. It came out to about 5,000 pounds. The gold alone. That's not counting the kruvim. Just the gold of the bottom. Then he put the luchas into it. The luchas were made out of emeralds, right? Or sapphires, sapphires. Right, sapphire, what's the weight of sapphire? You have the design. The weight of sapphire for that size was also about 5,000 pounds. So it's about 10,000 pounds together. Okay. Now, 4 guys, 2 guys on holding, each side holding the caution. Do you think they can lift it? I don't think they can lift it. 10,000 pounds. You know, for 4 guys. Now, let's assume they do get it up. Now, these sticks, how thick were they? You know, if you put 10,000 pounds holding on sticks, they'll snap them. But even if they don't snap them, the what do you call it? The tabasin that they had that was holding the berichen, that was holding the krosh, the badim, that should stretch. It should pull it down or something like that. Or the bottom of the yarn should come out. If you're trying to lift, you're pulling this way, and this refuses to move. So it'll just take out the bottom. So obviously it was a ness. Okay. So the ness is, and recall the Ahren is noisef. It carried its carriers. I said the way we just described it, they're just taking a ride. There are no carriers because they can't carry it. So why are you calling him the carrying its carried? Tell him it's carried. The guys were there for covered. 4 guys standing there. The stuff there, it's going to carry them because they can't go by itself. They can't carry it. So it could be that what they had to do was they had to push it with all their kayach, that we're trying to pick it up, and then as we do that, it lifts by itself. But if we don't put our kayachas into it, it's not going to go. And the thing over there. In other words, it's got to be a concept that it's on us. But we got to realize that we can't do it ourselves. That's the main point. That we really can't do it ourselves. Okay, so that's... Then he says, you make a shulchan, right? And the shulchan represents the gashmis of this world. Anything talking? And since as opposed to the menorah that represents the ruchnis as well. It tells you somebody davens southeast. So he davens southeast, not because he's davening east, but he's tilted a little to the south side. His children will be Talmidei Chacham. If he tilts a little to the north side, his children will be rich people, and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, the value system, obviously, all of it is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Shulchan is also only made for the purpose of this is it takes to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's the whole point the Gashis was the Yitzchok, the Yaakov, that his Alikus in Parshas Vayetze is the Mekadosh the Gashmi. Okay, so that's the way it is there. That answers the problem. We'll talk about it probably again over there, because one of the Tanaim is that it seems that it has to have the lechem haponim on it all the time. In fact, when they replaced it, you didn't take one off and then put one on. You actually removed one as the other one came on. So in other words, there was never a time that the table didn't have lechem haponim. So the table, the lechem haponim is a chelik of the table. So it's a funny thing. If the lechem haponim is a chelik of the table, why doesn't it say that they should collect the flour to make the lechem haponim? Doesn't say that, right? And the Chayyim collected everything he needed. So I want to kind of like this. These things that they asked for was one-time deal. This is what we need. This is what it is there. And whatever it is, we'll pay for it. But the Gashmi is to do mitzvahs. That I have to do. That we have no idea of what it's going to cost in the future. Like this, we get to build yeshivas, right? So you need a building, you need this, you need food. That costs money. So besides the rebbeim and stuff like that, you need the money for the gashmias. So on that, the Rebbeinu is telling us that you can't supply that, because if you had the chiyuv to supply the flour, that means no matter what it costs, whatever it is, it's your job to get the flour, right? Obviously, you can't put a job like that on the Klal Yisrael. They can't afford it, right? We don't know what the Mashiach Matzis is. So the Rebbeinu is saying, I'll make sure whatever money you have, it'll be sufficient to buy the flour. And therefore, there's the same thing goes. Now, before, years ago, where'd you have a yeshiva? You're in a rented room someplace. Now you got buildings that are all over the place, Baruch Hashem, there's stuff like that. So the idea is that I will make sure that there's a place to learn. That's the Rebbeinu was telling you. So therefore I can't make you the chiyuv to bring the what he called. On the other hand, the shemen to learn, which represents the Torah itself, if the Yidden don't learn it, there's no Torah in the world. So obviously you guys got to bring it. But the thing with the Gashmi, I have to bring it because it's not always shy for you to bring it. So Rebbeinu gave us a guarantee that whatever we need for Torah, we will have. Not pshat, what we decide we need. That's very important to remember. Now yeshivas the claim. I have 25 kids in the class, can't have any more. And if you have 24, we go look to Rambam, it tells you how many assistants you have, and this and that, and this and that. But after 25, sorry, we can't do this anymore. If we would have done that, let's say 70 years ago, there wouldn't be any Torah in the world. Why? Because you had a lot of kids wanting to come, or we tried to get them to come. I don't know if they say they wanted to come. The Shalochim went out whenever Beniman, he was a Meshuvah for MTJ, he was the Menayel. He would also go out to towns to raise money. But when he came back with Talmidim also. He didn't just come back with money. In other words, he goes out of town. You convince the people that, got to have guys here. So here, take my kid. What do? You bring him. You got to bring him someplace, right? So you don't have any room. Stick another chair in. What is the difference, And so my shver had a class of 84, first grade. Think anyone could do 84 in first grade? Sounds like you should get any time. He was a Levi, so I guess he was a natural Rebbe, so maybe he had that ability. But Binyamin Kamenetsky told me this story, because he worked with him together, they were friends. And what South Shore is named after, slipped my mind. Anyway, so he came there for a job, to apply for a job. So he told him to come back after Yontif. That's 6 weeks later. He says, you think I didn't understand why they told me for 6 weeks later? Because then they have to pay me for Yontif. And this way, they don't have to pay me for Yontif. Start keeping me after Yontif. So that's how much it made a difference, to the yeshiva to be able to have another Rebbe. You need another Rebbe. We're going to, we can't afford him. So we saved 6 weeks worth of money on him. And then when he came, finally, they marched out 40 kids from my Schwer's class. I gave it to him, and they left 48 for the Schwer, and he has 40. And the thing over there. So he stuck kids money she can put in. You know, with one guy handling 40 zechet, and it doesn't make sense, you know. And I remember in MTJ, the largest I remember was Rabbi Olbeck's class in the 3rd grade at 53. I remember in the thing over there. And again, where'd you put them? They just stuck the chair and whatever you get, because you got to get kids into the school. You have no money, so what? You have no money, so you teach another kid. That's all what's getting done. If you had money, you'll have a thing there. Now we have money, Baruch Hashem, so we don't even take them. We don't care about them. Then every kid was special. They give them what you got. Okay. Then it says you got to get the Beniman to make the menorah. Now the menorah had a lot of design on it. That's what it's made out of gold. We learned from the let's put it this way: it only requires these forms of gvim, kafterim, and the prochim only if you have it from gold. If it's made from something else, you can have it look like anything else. In fact, in Eretz Yisrael, they have a museum that depicts the Klei HaMishkan. So when they couldn't afford the gold, I think they have a gold one there now. When they couldn't afford the gold, they had a silver one. The silver one looks very strange. It looked like, sticks sticking out, whatever it is. Not rounded, it's maybe this whole thing looks like that. But anyway, without the Prochim Kafter. And the Gemara says that there were four levels when the Hashmonaim took over the Beis HaMikdash. They didn't have the menorah. So they built 4 different things before, 4 different menorahs. The first one was either stone or wood. Doesn't say what it was exactly. It seems stone or wood. The second one was made out of metal. The third one was made out of silver. And the fourth one was made out of gold. And then they finally got the gold one. That's when they put in the Proch and Kafter and this thing. So what's pshat in the first 3? The first 3 was you want to make a thing. So the shayla is, the levels of making something. So that you can make a keli like a table. Table's not a precision instrument. You take a beam, put it across a piece of board, and whatever it is, you want to get more the size, you measure it and you cut it down. But it's not precision. It's not the ultimate of an inch or whatever it is there. So it means that, like Torah, uses the Lashon, the Gemara, they got richer. They started with this, and they got richer. They made the next level richer. It says richer. That doesn't make sense to me, because the Hashmonaim beat the Greeks 100,000 or something at one time, and they had so 100,000 spears, whatever it is, you could make the one menorah out of it. So you would have had this metal right away. So what do you have to start with wood and thing there? So I think it means that they afforded that Torah was choshev in their eyes a certain way. So the first one held the menorah was either wood or stone, which means it can't be precision. You can't go to make it mamish, to the thing there. And therefore, it was like a guy comes to Torah. It was like a tool. It answers the way I live, right? But I go to the rabbi and I said, Rabbi, what's the law? Don't mess me up with svaras. Just tell me yes or no, whatever I do. That's it. So it's a tool. It's a tool, but it's not precision. They got richer to understand that there's something to the Torah more to it than that. So it took precision because you made it out of metal. This metal already can be made into precision. They became richer and they saw, we can make a living out of this still. We need rebbeim, we need rabbis, we need this. So we made out of silver. The next thing there. And then when he got to the madrege, that everybody wants it. That's what gold is. Gold has no value, but everybody wants it. So the thing is, everybody wants it, and we have to make sure that we don't go overboard on anything. We have to have a specific form that it has, that we know this is the form. And the thing over there, and that's the main thing. And that's why you have the menorah, the way it was, only when it's gold. Then he tells you the Mishkan. The Mishkan, by definition, means two things. It means the building itself, and also means the curtain. Not the curtain, the ceiling of the thing. That was the lowest level of the roof. So that's the ceiling, the part that's nearer into the Mishkan, into the building itself. And that you make out of 10 oiliyas and stuff like that. And we'll see later on that has to be the first thing up. So the idea is because, again, to teach you how Torah is made and stuff like that, you have to have a goal first. And that's what the difference is between different places. We'll talk more about Riches over there. But you have to understand that what's the chshivas of the Mishkan. In reality, not too many people ever saw the Mishkan. The only people that ever saw the Mishkan were because it's covered by a cover, it's really covered by two covers. It's covered by the Atzish, what he called the skins of Izim, and it also had at the end, you have over there, what do you call it, Eiris Troshim. So you had another level that was beautiful, that was red or something. I don't know, you have one of our guys write the book on the Mishkan. You can see the clay of the Mishkan, full color. It's right out there. Beniman. Okay. So the only kahn, the only ones who were able to see were the kahanim that lit the menorah or did the kairos, or the kahn gadol on Yom Kippur. It's the only guys that saw it. So like all this for that. And of course, it has nothing to do with the outside. It has to do with, again, this is what we're keeping for the in. It's disguised in a way. It's not, you don't flaunt it. It's not something that's flaunted. Okay. And, okay, made that. Then it says you make the wood, and we'll see that the wood was 10 amas high and 1.5 square of 1.5 by 1.5. So that they added on, it's 10 amas by, you need 20 of them, so 20 of them makes it 30 amas long. And that's the way it is. The Kodesh was 20 amas, the Kodesh was 20 amas, the Kodesh was 10 amas, and so on. And that's it was under each one you had 2 adonim, and we'll see in Parshas Kisisa again that they used machzah shekel, that everybody had to give a machzah shekel for the adonim. And again, that has also significance to tell you that in foundation of building everybody has to be equal. You can't just say, these guys will become Talmidei Chacham, so we got to teach them more. These guys, for this beginning. No, the beginning has got to be, everyone's got to have that first chance to become whatever they can become. And then each one will develop it as far as he can go. stuff like that. That's the Adon. Okay. Here. Yeah, so and then in the back, because obviously you have already, the beamers that go this way. I mean, they crush him, right? And so you need to get 10 amas across, 15. So you need 8, which is becomes 12, right? And 12, and each of the 2 outside ones is another 3, is 15. So you have 15 amas across. You have 30 long, 15 across, but the inside is only 10. He said you took off 1.5, so now they take off 3. He took off 3, so the inside is 12. So the thing over there. And the length on the outside is 15. And then they made, to keep it, to make sure that it stays making it. So they had a brichim, 5 brichim. They did holes or long sticks that would go the whole length. So be 30 amas would have, and then it would stick out on each side. So therefore they kept it aligned, the poor aligned. In other words, the Adonim are keeping the sticks, the beam standing up, and the other ones keep it aligned that it doesn't tilt one way to the other. So therefore, it would be they kept it straight. And you had a brich hatichon, which obviously again was a nest, because it went all the way around. So how does wood bend? So obviously it was that gufa was a nest, whatever it is. These are the things that the Mishkan had. And again, that should be gold. It also had a frontal door. You had, is he putting that down? Made a paraychas in between the kdoshim and the kdoshim that you had, and the Ahren. You always saw the Ahren. The Ahren was its badim pushed the paraychas to see exactly where they were. But you also had an entrance paraychas. And there was an interesting thing. You had let's see, say that. Silver. It has that they had an additional beams for the front side, the east side, which was the door going into the kodesh, and the thing over there, and that was made of beams with the paraychas. And there I don't know what beams are this way. The wall, the crushing, whatever it is, the thing there. Here it this, and then it's after the Tcheles, right? It's after the Parshas. V'sisa misa amudi shitim, and he zov, and he baked the adonim were made out of nechashis. So the difference between the side, the east side, all the rest of the adonim, were made out of silver, and the ones in the front were made out of copper. Shaila is why they make that difference between the two. And I think it's different, like you see, like in the yard, when they also had adonim, single adonim for the things that held up the curtains to make the yard, right? The chutzah. So that the thing was chayshish. The mizbeach outside is chayshish. So with the stuff that was made outside of the Mishkan itself was the chayshish. It was leveled down, one level down from the silver. Now with the thing like that. So in other words, it's a level of kedusha. That it's more to the outside. To the outside, it has to have something that's less kedusha. We had similar to this in the Cholim of Yaakov Avinu when he went to sleep. So he had to Cholim Vayetze. Rashi says the feet of the ladder were in Beersheva, and the head was in Beisel, and it passes over Yerushalayim, and he was sleeping in Yerushalayim. The question that arose was, the Chayri, he's going north, so if these were the Malachim going up and down, the ones exchanging the Chutzlords Malachim for the Yotzisodik Malachim, it should have been the ladder, the feet should have been in Beisel, and the head should have been in Beersheva, because he's going that way, so the Malachim should be going down over there. Why is he going down to the south where he came from, Beersheva? So I said that it could be that you have to have a degree of going from, you can't go from high Kedusha to low Kedusha one shot. It doesn't work. So you start off with the high Kedusha, Mishamayim, but I have to go to Chutzlords. How do you get there? I have to walk through Eretz Yisrael first, and then I can go to Chutzlords. I lowered myself from the Shemayim to Eretz Yisrael, and the same thing if you're coming up, you just can't come up from Chutzlords to the Shemayim. You came up Chutzlords, take a walk through Eretz Yisrael, then you can come up to the Shemayim. So here also, it's a point of showing there's a level. It doesn't come. So the front door where you're entering the Kodesh, so you're coming from copper into the silver. So the outside one will be copper, the inside ones will be silver. That's the point of thinking. So it's just Madregeweis, and that's the main thing that's trying to show us. Then it says you got to make the Mizbeach, and the Mizbeach is a ganze Shaila how it was made. What does it mean? How it was made? How tall was it in the end? So here it seems to say it was 5 amos. Right? The Shaila is a machlekes. If it's 5 amos total, or 5 amos on top of 10 amos or something like that. It lands up real high. So if it comes out that way, the question is, where do you put the bottom? You can't put the bottom in the middle. If it's 5, so you can put the bottom in the middle. No big problem. You have a good balance. But if it's that tall, so how are you going to put the bottom? So if you put it near the bottom, near the top, the guy can't reach it. It don't make sense. So you got to put it near the bottom. Near the bottom, it's not going to be too balanced and stuff like that. So, only I can think of it, since it's vocht, it's shitim, but the inside was was sand, whatever they came to. So it was in a desert, so it wasn't no big deal, you know. So you filled it up with sand. So maybe the hay weight was not that much on the tilting. I mean, I can't say, I don't know. But that would be a problem how to carry it, basically.
Had a floor on the bottom?
I'm sorry?
The Mizbech had a floor on the bottom?
A floor on the bottom? I don't think so. No, just
So they just pick it up?
right, just up. But you had a thing on top.
Yeah, I'm saying with it.
Yeah, we had to
You
put
could
the
just pick it
four
up,
coals
so-
or whatever it is there.
No, but they don't be able to just pick up the whole Mizbech.
Yeah, then that's all it
That's
is.
all they do, no
And
floor.
you filled it up. Or maybe they'd even have it a top, maybe just at sides. You know, 4 sides. Put something there, and it's filled up with sand, earth, whatever you want to call it, and you makrif on top of the earth. So you pick up top of stones. It would be going directly on the stone. That can have a cover on it. Maybe the same thing. I think his book is over there. No, and that's that. It's not there. I don't know. He hasn't, but he did good work on it. Let's see what he did. There it is. See, it looks hollow. Looks hollow. Has no top. No top.
The other Mizbech had a top. But the Mizbech Primi had a top. The other Mizbech had a top.
Yeah, they made their Hazov, because that was inside. And then this is outside. So for Kabbonis, you have either Mizbech Avonim or Mizbech Adoma. So you have those two. And then they had the chotzer. And the chotzer was made 100 amas by 50 amas. The Mishkan was in the chotzer. And in the chotzer was also Mizbeach on the outside. And we said that there has to be a ramp. It's not steps, because you don't go. You know, like you said, in the Parshas Yisrael, why you have to have no steps, because when you go in Ruchnius, you can't jump. Got to be gradual. So therefore, or the whole thing goes together. I guess that's what gradual means, you know. If I jump, so therefore the one part will be different than the other part. But gradually, you can all go together. I think that. Now there's again the shaila of what held the curtains down. So we'll have later on, we'll discuss when we put in the next book again Pikudi, I think, was if you had weights in the curtains, which is what we have, let's say, you order drapes. What keeps the drapes hanging straight, right? If you look at the bottom of the drape, there's a weight, and that keeps the drape hanging straight. Otherwise, it's a piece of material folds up. You bend it over, and it gets so it doesn't look nice. It's hard to keep it always there. And then there was also, then there was Mandiyama, or maybe they had both, that said you had a pin or something that tied down the curtain to the floor. So she used to say that there's a difference in two types of people that require kedusha. One can do it by himself. In other words, that you put some weight on me, whatever it is there, I keep myself in place. So I can afford to be in other areas. I don't have to be dafka in a former area because I have a lot of keches in myself to keep me straight on the straight and narrow. And then there are people who the only reason they are is because something else is holding them down. They themselves can't hold themselves down. Those guys got to always make sure they're in a place where there's somebody to support them. So you have this Indian by Gerim, which you have what they call the seminars, or anyone that goes in actually the business that teaches Gerim to be Gerim. It's a long process, it's a few years, it's not a Pasha Dezach. And they also require they live in a place where it's a Jewish neighborhood. Not in the same neighborhood they became a care from. And the reason for it is because they need a support system and stuff like that. They don't want them reverting back to the goyim. So you need a support system. Can you have your right to do that or not? That's a different passion. But obviously that's what they do. But you see that there is such an Indian that people to stand by yourself is very hard. So there's an Indian of having to have new people to help you, other people to help you. And you find the tax of time in the Haftarah. It talks about the class this week. It's going to be Parshas Shloa, right? So Shkolim. Let's see, you say something on Shkolim. It's maybe go from both to the other. There's a lot of stuff on the Shkolim part. Is the place we learn how to trust. That the guys who do malacha, volunteers, or even the Amuneh, take care of stucker things. We don't ask them for Hashbanis. We trust them. Otherwise, you don't put them in the job. When you put them into that job, it means you give them full trust. So you don't ask them for help and stuff like that. And the whole story over there, okay. And now after it talks about the taxes that Shlomo Melech made. So mashma, money tax we don't find that he have it, even though he uses the Lashon when Chavam takes over the Malchus. So that was Yerav Menavot's way of making the revolution. They ask him, what is he going to do with the people? Your father was tough on the people, and and so his friends told him, you got to show power, you got to show, not flexibility. You're the king, you're not them. And if my father did this, I'm going to do it twice as hard, 10 times as hard, whatever it was, the proportion that they give. But the actual taxes that Shlomo Melech did, I don't think he had any taxes at all. It was a very rich country. He had a lot of rich things. He didn't have to make any taxes. He ruled the world according to the Gemara, and the reason he's not counting the Haba is because he ruled Belyonim Ubetachtonim. So therefore, he had whatever they paid him, not booty, paid him tribute or whatever it is, the money, and that kept the people not having to work and no taxes and nothing for sure. Here it meant the taxes for building a Beis Hamikdash, so they had to have workers. You wanted Yiddish workers. You don't want Arab workers. You wanted Yiddish workers to build a Beis Hamikdash. You're not going to give it to the Arabs. The Arabs are maybe the houses you can build with the Arabs, but not the Beis Hamikdash. So therefore, they needed 3,000 a month. He had 3,000, 2,000 were home, 1,000 was out in the field. So everybody worked 1 month out of 3, so it doesn't sound too bad either. No matter how heavy the work is, you were off 2 months every 3 months. I mean, he did pretty good. And so that was the tax that he gave for Klal Yisrael. And that was partially because they had to build the Beis HaMikdash and the thing over there. The Haftarah of Shkolim is obviously the Mafta Melech of Shkolim. That's the beginning of Kisisa. That the pshat is that the Kesra Kippurim, whatever it is there. We'll talk more about it. It's only 2 weeks from now, so we'll talk about it then. But the ikir is that it's Kesef HaKippurim. Why do you owe anything? So Rashi says because you count Klal Yisrael. So the question becomes, so we're not allowed to count Klal Yisrael. We don't count Klal Yisrael. Chumash Shiur Samecha, whatever it is there, and that's how you count for minyan. That's how you count for things. You don't count 1, 2, 3. So if that's the case, so you shouldn't count people. So, where do you have a case of Kippurim? So I said that the idea is we want you to count people. The only thing we want you to count, though, is complete people. We don't want people that are pretending to be people. You want someone that says, I'm Takiyit, I'm somebody. Not somebody, I want to be somebody. That doesn't mean anything, So therefore, that's what the Ben Shem wants. So if you reach that Madrege, so we can count you. If not, so what are you pretending to be that you are? So at least the money will be Kesef HaKippurim. It'll forgive you for claiming that you're somebody that you're not. And the same thing, and this is always something that the person is mechuyev to keep trying to do. There's no such thing as you. Where would I used to bring a raya from? Benching. I don't remember. It's on my mind. It's something that's always on my mind. So I don't know why it's not thinking. It's not hitting me. That Birkis Samosen has to do with benching. Yeah, Birkis Samosen. Let's see, what about Birkis Samosen? Yeah. Benching, right? So what do we make benching for? You make a person bench for kizayis or for kizayis if he eats, right? That's what you make a person bench for. That's not really true. In other words, that's the Rabbanat. And you have the Gemara saying that you have the Gemara in Brachas, a few places, that how's a child might see his father in benching. So they're looking for the Rabbanan of the father doing the Rabbanan, and the cotton is doing the Raisa. So they come up with two that the taste is the kash. It's really two Rabbanans. It's not one Rabbanan. You have to have the shear, and you have to have the age. So it's two Rabbanan, not one. I throw in there's three Rabbanans because you have to have avos too. If you don't have avos, I can't be mighty you. So I got to give you avos also. So if I have to have three Rabbanans, I got to have three things taking it down. So I said, so I wanted to come out that the shear of eating kizayis is the Raisa. And that's what the Kohen says. So it says, why the Midas Adin said you don't show favoritism to people. So it's like Yisro upon him, and all of a sudden you're showing favoritism. So he says, I'm showing favor. I shouldn't show favoritism. I said you should eat when you're full. And they eat even when they make a bracha, even they only eat the gezayis. They show that thing there. So I find it. If it's the Rabbanan, so what's the big deal? I mean, it's the Tchonas the Rabbanan. You're talking about the Bein this in the Torah. The Beishim is saying that they feel already obligated to bench, even if they only eat gezayis. They're not full takeh, but they still feel hakol satay for the gezayis. A guy takeh only feels when he's full completely, and I can't demand it from a person until he's full. But a real person should have been made makir. I gave you enough to live vital, to get to vital. That's also something to thank me for. You reach that, you have to bench the raisa. So he said, if that's the case, the Rabbanan came along and said, since we could reach that madrege, so we're making a takona, everybody has to bench for gezayis and stuff, and therefore they know what to aim for. When you get to that madrege, it's the raisa, but now it's the Rabbanan. You see this sort of thing. And we have our good Shabbos, everybody, and with your